everybody, welcome to AskAP Live. I am super excited to introduce a new segment to my show called Who's Got Next. And Who's Got Next is Tarshena Armstrong. Let me make sure I put some respect on your title. Director of Diversity Marketing and Development for General Motors. Thank you so much, Tarshena, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I'm excited.
Absolutely. So I like to start the show usually talking about background, talking about foundation. I really believe that our foundation kind of like sets the tone for who we grow up to be. And I just want to get a little bit of background on you. How did you grow up and the things that were instilled in you as a child?
Absolutely. I am a Flint native.
Okay, Flint Town.
Flint Town to its core. I would get a tattoo if my mother would not kill me. But no, I grew up in Flint, Michigan. I'm the daughter of two GM employees who were UAW workers. They were Southerners, one from Louisiana and Mississippi, and they migrated to Michigan for a better way of life.
Right.
For their family, like a lot of Michiganders.
Yeah.
So they planted roots in Flint, Michigan, and grew up there, went to high school there, Flint Southwestern Academy, went to college there at the University of Michigan Flint.
Mm-hmm.
Also got my MBA from Wayne State, so that began my experience in the D, and now I'm a D girl.
For life. Once you become a D girl, you can't go back.
Absolutely.
For life. So you pretty much were born into GM.
Yes.
Because it says that you have been with GM for 16 years, and you look super young.
Yes, I am 36 years young.
Very much so.
Grew up in Flint. My first experience of General Motors was Take Your Daughter to Work Day, 1994. And I remember my mom, she like starched our jeans. That was a whole thing back in the day.
So stiff.
She was like, starch our jeans. We had our outfits, my sister and I going to Take Your Daughter to Work Day. They had pizza, activities. We got to experience manufacturing for the day with my mother. And I knew then that I would probably work for GM.
Absolutely.
But not in a manufacturing capacity at all. That just wasn't my thing.
You know what? I was so blown away because I met you originally at the Black History program.
Yep, for GMAT.
For GMAT, yeah. So when I was there, I just got so much education on the things that happens at GM. Because what I think is usually when we think about GM, we think about the plant. And it's so much more. So can you just tell us a little bit about your role and what you do?
Absolutely. And you know, manufacturing, production, that is a huge part of what we do at GM. But it's really a 360 of every operation, from design to engineering to sales to our dealers to marketing. There's so many aspects, and that's one of the reasons why I selected GM. Been here for over 16 years now, and I've had the opportunity to do so many different roles. I first started at AC Delco in our parts organization. I had my summer internship at CCA at the time in Grand Blanc, Michigan, and had an opportunity to really explore marketing from the capacity of our parts organization. Also understanding the industry from a parts capacity. I then did some research on a brand that we had called Goodwrench at the time, which was really exciting because that's when I began to build my analytical skills and really core industry knowledge. After I left customer care and after sales, I transitioned into our field operations, which I think is the most rewarding yet challenging role in the company. And I moved to Dallas, Texas, where I had about 15 dealerships under the Buick and GMC brand. And I helped as more so a consultant to customer experience, to parts, to warranty issues that we had, and being an aid to our dealers. Transitioned to DC as a district sales manager, helping the dealers understand the lease market, competition, and growing our enterprise over there in the Northeast region. Migrated back home to Detroit, and I was always on Buick and GMC, and I was the Buick and GMC incentive manager. So really had a great opportunity to lean into working with finance, working with our dealers, working with our marketing teams on how do we sell our vehicles from an internal standpoint? What's our inventory look like? So that was a good experience. migrated to business planning for the Buchan GMC team for quite some time. And then after that, I had a wonderful experience of doing a stretch assignment for our chairman and CEO, Mary Barra, for about...
She's amazing.
She is
Oh
amazing.
my gosh, she's so amazing.
I learned a lot in that role. And most importantly, I learned how to look at our enterprise, not as it is right now, but our glide path into the future, and also how to lead with empathy. That was most important. So great opportunity, and then transition into what I call my passion role as Director of Diversity Marketing. So in this capacity, I'm responsible for ensuring that our multicultural audience, Black, Hispanic, women, LGBTQ+, Asian Americans have a voice and see themselves within our marketing, from our marketing campaigns to our deeds, from a grassroots standpoint. And also, I have a night job, and my night job is development, so also tasked with human capital development of our 250 US-based marketing employees. And
you do a lot.
I have a wonderful team. I have a wonderful team that helps me do this great job. But from a development side, we have a program where we have on-demand courses within marketing that will help increase our competitive advantage. So foundational skill sets to make us innovate, storytell. It's a lot of courses that help us be great.
Oh my God, you said so much. Like,
it's a lot.
It's a lot, like 16 years. You said 16 years worth of stuff.
Yes, but you know, the crazy thing is that I compare myself to some of my peers that I graduated with, and everyone jumps from company to company.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what like the millennials do.
Yeah.
And I get questioned, you know, oh, you've been with GM for so long, you haven't stepped outside of the box. And I feel as though I've gotten a very broad experience here at GM, even within this one company, and it's not it. Like, you know, there's so much more to do. So I'm looking forward to this journey.
Born into it anyway.
Yes, I feel like this is my destiny.
It definitely was. Two parents that worked for GM, and now it's you doing amazing thing. You said something. I always like to talk about having a good team, and you said that you have a great team. So talk about what teamwork looks like for you.
I have a dynamic team.
Oh yeah, that's better than great.
It's a dynamic team. We're not a team, we're a family.
I love that. I love that so much.
We are a family. We have an unofficial mascot that we call the Swiss Army knife. And if you know, like the slogan for Swiss Army knife, my dad used to carry a Swiss Army knife when I was younger, but those who need to be ready for anything, take this with you everywhere. And, you know, they have, you know, a nail file, there's scissors, and we have to do more with less.
Yeah.
And so the team is brand agnostic. So our team helps support our divisional brands. So Buick, GMC, Chevrolet, Cadillac, and also some of our adjacencies like OnStar. And we have a development manager who helps build the relationships with our learning providers. But overall, the team just works very well together. What I love is that by leading with transparency, everyone knows the roles and responsibilities, the swim lanes of each other, but everyone is willing to step up, even if it's your task or your responsibility. If I'm on vacation, I'm gonna step up and lead the call.
Yeah.
I was traveling on Tuesday, and I was gonna cancel our staff meeting. And the team still had the staff meeting without me.
That's right. That's a good team.
That's a good team.
Because usually when the boss is out, it's like we doing what we want to do.
But they still had the staff meeting. They had deliverables. They had follow-ups. So it lets me know that they are also passionate about what they do.
Absolutely.
But they're creative geniuses. They are stepping outside of the box so much in doing things that are just beyond creative. It helps us drive vehicle sales, because that's what we're here to do, is to ensure that the multicultural audiences can have a brand affinity for our family of brands and for General Motors. Especially right now, we're focused on EV education. As we transition to an all-electric future at GM, it's important that our Black and brown people feel that they're a part of that journey.
Absolutely.
And it first starts with education. So we're doing a lot with what we call edutainment.
I like that, edutainment.
Yep, edutainment.
I like that.
So educating the community in a very engaging and thoughtful way. Yeah, we have a wonderful campaign called Let's Talk for the Hispanic community. And just imagine like, Mom, Dad, let's have this talk. But it's a telenovela style satire, if you will, that's educating about the price of ownership, range, functionality of our electric vehicles. So we're building upon that.
So talk a little bit more about the electric vehicle, because I'm really like fascinated a little bit with these electric vehicles. I think I'm like overly fascinated with them. I've been doing a lot of research on them, and I kind of feel like I want one.
You should.
I feel like I want one.
You should, definitely. I think that electric vehicles should be on everyone's consideration set right now. Not only from a long-term factor, but from like helping the environment.
Yeah.
The cost savings of gas.
Absolutely. Because I do not like going to the gas station whatsoever.
Me too.
I'm a girl. We don't like to do that.
But, you know, it is really a joy to drive a lot of our electric vehicles. And I think that we're doing a good job within our portfolio of having an electric vehicle that fits the needs of all consumers. So urban city dwellers, those who don't have children, the space for those who do need children, those who may be business owners and need to haul with our pickups. So there is an EV for everyone. And that's kind of our rallying cry right now for everybody in and an EV for everybody.
Yeah, I'm really leaning towards an EV.
I can see you in a Cadillac Lyric.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I might need to jump in that and see how that feels.
Definitely.
Yeah, I might have to jump in there and see how that feels. What do you feel like most people would not know about GM?
That we're the most inclusive company in the world. Not only has GM been a part of my life all my life.
All your life.
But over the past few years, we have implemented our corporate behaviors. And one of those is be inclusive. And so that means that from our senior leadership down, everyone has a voice in being inclusive. And we also feel that being inclusive includes a diverse talent pipeline. And we all know that diversity of thought breeds innovation. Absolutely. And that's what we're about here, innovation in the automotive space. So I think that a lot of people don't know that being the most inclusive company in the world is not just something that we say, it's really etched in our deeds. One thing that I'm really proud about is about 2 years ago when I first started this role, our chairman and CEO took a very active approach to some media headwinds that we had and literally sat down with diverse-owned media outlets to understand some of the systematic issues that they were experiencing in the industry. And we were proactive rather than reactive of changing some of the way that we do business. Yeah. Adjusted payment terms, because these are small business owners and entrepreneurs. And she also allowed us to now execute an incubator fund that dedicates $50 million over the next 10 years to support the marketing and media ecosystem. So we have done work to provide minority certification for businesses. We have worked with organizations throughout the marketing world to help scale diverse-owned media owners. So it's been very, very fruitful.
I want to know something. You've been with the company for 16 years. That's still blowing me away that you're 36 and you've been with the company for 16 years. That's amazing to be with one company for 16 years. A lot of people cannot say that. I know that I can't. So tell me one thing that you absolutely love about working at GM.
Other than our beautiful products, but I think one thing that I love about this company is the people.
That is a very good answer. You have to love the people.
It's the people. I have had the privilege of interacting with some dynamic people, diverse, educated, smart, and people have instilled in me values, and it's always been a reach back, pull forward. I've had some great mentors over the course of my career, and I think without the people, without the mentorship that I've received in this company, that I wouldn't be in the position that I am today. And that goes from our employee resource groups, women's group. When I first began, we had a ERG for, new to the work environment. There's, I'm an ally in our GM Plus for our LGBTQ plus community. So the people, employee resources groups, and like the mentorship that I've gained, that's what makes my experience so special.
It's so sincere coming off you, like you really, really love what you do, and it's so important. Talk to people who may want to look into a career at GM. What kind of advice would you give them to get started?
Internships are important. Internships, because GM has a great culture. It's definitely been on the tipping point of something grand. I think that everyone's personality may or may not fit, but having the opportunity to internship, understand our organization, the culture, job and responsibilities, that will be key to see if they love this organization as much as I do. But we have a really good program that my team leads for internships with HBCU students. We're heading into the 7th year. It's called the Chevrolet Discover the Unexpected program.
I was just getting ready to ask you, but I see how this just works.
But our overall goal is to educate on EV, to expose our young, thriving HBCU students with an opportunity to help them, mentor them, build their acumen about the automotive industry, about electrification. And we also partner with National Black Press and the NNPA to help get this program off the ground.
I learned that at the G-Man event.
Yeah, we had one of our students, our two-time DTU student, he was at the G-Man event. His name is Raza L, and he is going to be joining us this spring after he graduates as a full-time GM employee.
I don't think I hollered so loud in my life when he said that he was going to be joining. I was super excited for him.
And that's the humanity, that's the deeds of what all this is about, is getting these people into the pipeline.
Yeah.
And he can now enter our organization with the confidence of, hey, I have a network of people that believe in me. I now know more about the organization than someone who did not have a, internship. So I think he's going to go on to do well. But I see myself in him as, an internship, and he has a village that's helping to rally behind him.
So let's get into some fun stuff.
I thought we were already having fun.
We definitely having fun, but this is going to be really fun. So I heard, and we have something in common.
What's that?
Super common. It's the best hood ever. You know which one I'm talking about?
Aunt hood?
Auntie hood. Yes. It's the best hood ever. I will stay in that hood.
Yes. But I want children of my own.
I do too.
That is a goal in my life. I want to be a mother more than anything.
Oh, wow.
More than anything.
Yeah. I think auntie-hood is preparing us for mother, because it's things that we can do as an aunt that we cannot do as a mom.
Absolutely.
So I think I get my nieces and nephews like really riled up, and then I take them home.
So I will say I come from a very loving environment. My parents were awesome parents. I never known true love like this before. And my nephew, for everyone, his name is Lafayette Powell Merchant III.
Lafayette is a powerful name.
Yes. And the third, and he is affectionately known as Baby Bean. And he is literally the most cutest little boy ever.
Is this your only? Is that
this
your
is
only?
My only.
See, he gonna be bad because he is your only. Like, I have several. So I have a huge family. My mother had 8 children.
Oh, wow.
So all of my siblings have children except for me and my 2 younger sisters. We're the only ones who don't have kids. And so we have been dealing with kids forever because my oldest nephew is in his 30s.
Oh, wow.
So it's like from him down to my last nephew, he just turned 3.
Okay.
And so now
we got to get a play date.
No, we have to get a play date for real because the love for him is a little bit different because he's my great nephew.
And the baby.
And he's the baby. So I get it.
Awesome. But yeah, my nephew is my joy.
Yeah.
And he lives in DC with his parents. So I try to visit as much as I can.
I know you do. FaceTime is probably your friend.
Yes, but he's now in this stage where I'll FaceTime and he'll say, "TT, no," because he wants to watch his show. So he is in love with Tab Time and Tabitha Brown and Blaze. So he's wonderful, and he loves truck. I think he's going to go into. I know in my heart he's going to go into the automotive industry because he loves
trucks.
all things trucks. For his birthday last year, we got him a Silverado. So, you know, he's cruising down the sidewalks of.
He's driving better than me.
He has his little red Silverado, and I know that when he begins to drive, he's going to drive an electric vehicle. Yeah, putting that in the atmosphere.
I think EVs are just going to be the way to go.
Yes.
So another cool thing, and I can see that you are a sneakerhead.
I'm a retired sneakerhead.
So
I'm retired.
You a heel girl now?
You got to know how to mix it up.
You have to.
So I have on my sneakers.
And they're cute.
These are some, you have on Jordan lows. Try to match the green. I am a retired sneakerhead because I'm not cut out for that lifestyle anymore. When I was collecting shoes, I would get up at 5, 6 a.m.
I remember that.
Stand in line, go to Foot Locker, and get shoes. Now you have to get tickets, and you have to
win raffles,
set alarms for the sneaker apps. You gotta. I have my laptop, my work laptop, personal laptop, 2 phones, trying to get actual. You've gotten these shoes, and it hasn't worked. So I'd rather, maybe wait it out, go on StockX, and then try to get the shoes, because this whole new era of sneakers is not my friend. So I am definitely retired.
You just came back from vacation.
Yes.
And it looks so awesome. Tell me, if you have not been there yet, where would you like to go? Like, what is something that's on your bucket list, like number 1 on your bucket list?
I'll go over the next year. So I just got back from Jamaica. I went for a friend's union of marriage, which was nice because a few of my closest friends were there. But I'll give 2.
Okay.
Maybe a desire and a must versus just my aspiration. So at the end of the year, I would like to plan to go to Ghana to a music festival that happens over New Year's. I think it's like a Afro punk music festival. So I've never been to Africa. Yeah. So I would like to go to Ghana with friends over the New Year's holiday.
How long is that flight?
I think it's pretty long. I think I'm gonna have to bear at least 24 hours of travel.
I can't do that. That's too much. I would love to go there too, but I think the flights would just.
That is a long flight. But hopefully I travel with some friends to make it a little more enjoyable, or just try to sleep as much as possible.
As much.
But I definitely want to experience Africa, just because of the culture. I would love to go on a safari tour, and then if I can experience great music and food, that would be wonderful. But this summer I am going to try to travel to Mississippi. So my grandparents has a farm. They're no longer with us. Okay. They have a farm in Crawford, Mississippi. And so I have not been to Crawford since my grandmother passed, maybe 2007, 17, excuse me. So I want to go back to Mississippi, like the summers when I was a child, and really see. My uncles have been taking over the farm, but just to experience, the farm, the animals, and get some good food while I'm down there too. But I feel obligated that I haven't, been back to Mississippi to really see my family and to, carry on a legacy that we did have that now is neglected. So
you guys have a farm.
Yep.
In the family.
Yeah, there's a farm. My grandfather was a sharecropper.
So intrigued by
Yeah.
that. Farm. That's amazing. What advice would you give? And I really, really love this question. What advice would you give women of color?
Be your authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Early on in my career, I was not my authentic self. I was comparing my upbringing, comparing the school that I went to,
Yeah.
the fact that my, parents weren't scholars, they were UAW employees,
Mm-hmm.
but I was very, just not my true self. I wasn't wearing sneakers to work. I wasn't very prideful of my
Yeah.
background. And I truly feel that now being authentic in the workplace
Mm-hmm.
helps me truly build better relationships and do good work. Because if you're not your authentic self, you are not going to perform your best work.
That's so good.
So definitely being authentic. Next, relationships matter. It is important. My father will always say, you know, relationships, you got to talk to
You
people.
have to.
And now our younger employees, they just want to IM. Let's pick the phone and just call someone,
Yeah.
but relationships do matter. Building relationships, authentic relationships,
Yeah.
not transactional relationships.
That's right.
That are genuine, authentic, that matters.
It does.
Because if I now know AP
Mm-hmm.
and she needs an electric vehicle soon,
do.
right? This authentic engagement,
Mm-hmm.
me following up, like, hey, we have, a vehicle that you may want to get in for a week. How do you get into that, or
Right.
how do I transition you into a new vehicle? But because of our interaction, because of our follow up, doesn't make it transactional. It makes it authentic. So
Yeah.
those relationships matter inside and outside
They
of the
do.
organization. I will also say relationships outside of the organization. I didn't have a LinkedIn page until like maybe December will be the 2 years that I've had a LinkedIn
Yeah.
page.
Mm-hmm.
And my network of professional relationships were really inside of GM.
Yeah.
And they were great relationships.
Yeah.
But I never, joined a lot of professional organizations within automotive spaces to share best practices
Mm-hmm.
with others. And so building those relationships outside of your business unit is important as well. So I would say relationships inside and outside of your organization and being authentic.
I always say that relationships are so important and they're better than money.
Definitely. It's a good currency, right?
It's the best one because if you have the right relationship, you'll be able to get some money. That's what I think. If the relationships are right, like money just naturally comes when it's supposed to anyway. But having a relationship with somebody is so important to be able to pick up your phone and call someone. Even what happened between us, me, knowing some people, I'm like, I have to get Tarshena on the show. Like, what are we gonna do? And they were like, we're gonna make it happen. And like having that relationship opened up the door for this. You know what I mean? It opened up the door for me to be able to get you on the show. And I'm just so glad that you had time in your busy schedule because I take nothing for granted. When people give you their time, like that's the most important thing in the world. Like you could be doing a million things right now. You just ran down so much stuff that you do. I don't even remember all of it. But you're so busy. And so for you to say, I'm going to block off a little bit of my schedule to meet with AP and to do this interview with her, this like means everything to me. So I just wanted to let you know that I truly appreciate this. Like I really, really do.
No, thank you. And hats off to you because you're doing great work.
Thank you
And
so much.
I also think representation matters too.
Yes.
So for you to have a platform that allows other women of color,
Absolutely.
younger women of color, to see the professionalism that you carry, the real topics that you share, that is going to be fruitful and it's going to outlast the both of us. So hats off to you.
I really appreciate that. I got one last question.
Okay.
I always ask this question at the end of every show.
Okay.
because I feel like this is like a really, really good question. And I always get, of course, different answers. What would Tarshena now, Tarshena that's been with GM for 16 years, Tarshena who has grown level to level, Tarshena who's an aunt, Tarshena as a friend, Tarshena as a woman, what would you now tell the younger Tarshena?
Be patient.
Oh, I needed to hear that. That's me.
Be patient. I think, and I don't think, I believe that what's for you is for you. And my mother would tell me be patient, especially when I would grow frustrated. You know, sometimes I would say comparison is the thief of joy.
It absolutely is.
Because you naturally begin to compare your career trajectory with others. So, you know, me being in a role and another person gets a role and you're like, oh, that was my dream job, or hey, I should have got that. Everything happens for a reason.
It does.
And every time I thought that, or had an interview and didn't get the role, I feel it was a way of protection. It was a way of me grounding myself and getting more of a knowledge base to prepare me for what's next. So I would just say to the younger Tarshena that showed up, you know, on literally, I think it was May 28th in Grand Blanc, you know, AC Doco, sitting in this cubicle, is to just be patient.
Patience is really leaping out to me right now, because I think that's something that we all can work on.
Still to this day.
Yeah, still to this day, because it gets a little rough. You know, when you feel like you have been doing all that you can and you just haven't gotten that break yet, it's like, oh my God, when does it happen? Yeah.
And if it doesn't, you know, it was supposed to be like that.
It was.
So just be patient. What's for you will not pass.
Thank you so much, Tarshena,
for
being on the show. This was amazing. I'm so glad I got a chance. And we definitely got to do this again.
Yes.
This has to happen again.
Yes.
You got to fit me in your busy, super busy schedule.
We'll do it interactive in the D.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's do that.
Right.
Thank you all so much for tuning in to AskAP Live's new segment, Who's Got Next, with Tarshena Armstrong. I am so excited to have Tarshena on the show, and this will not be her last time on the show. Thank you so much. Who's Got Next?